Deputy Director, Ms. Antoinette Saye, who is currently in the country, is at the moment holding various, talks with, intending to meet creditors. Today, having talks with the Minister of Finance. Yesterday, the delegation did meet President Hakainde Hichilema at State House. Those are some of the things that we will look at on this edition of Diamond Live. Later on the program, PF aspiring presidential candidate Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba is going to be joining us on the show this evening, but also joining us via video conferencing just to get to look at the ban on GMO products. Should the ban be lifted? And there's a statement that is coming through from the Zambia Alliance for Agroecology and Biodiversity, ZABA. Let me just read part of the statement that has been written to the president. This reads in part that we humbly urge you to uphold the promises of your new Dawn government to transition to suitable food and agriculture systems and halt the validation of the new GMO policy. And the letter further reads, we implore you to maintain the ban on live genetically modified organisms in Zambia and halt the validation of the revised GMO policy that has been planned. This process was initiated under the previous regime in an undemocratic manner with vested interests. The current draft policy remains technically unsound, with fundamental issues that have been raised by stakeholders since 2017 still unaddressed. These issues will put both your Ministry of Green Economy and Environment, as well as our people and the country, at significant risk. We'll be looking at this with Vladimir Chilinya, who is coordinator at Fiani International Zambia. Mr. Chilinya, thank you so much for joining us on this edition of Diamond Live. Please tell us, I would love to understand your position on this letter that the Zambia Alliance for Agroecology has written, ZAB. First of all, tell us a little bit about the background of your organization and what does your position mean generally to the public?
Thank you so much, Cheswa, and good evening, viewers. As you've rightly put it across, the Zambia Alliance for Agroecology and Biodiversity has been engaged in the process under the various developments in terms of genetically modified organisms. You might be aware that Zambia for a long time has been opposed to the issue of GMOs. We might be alive to the fact that there are a few instances where some processed GMO products have been imported or are being imported in the country. But however, the introduction of live GMOs has been rejected in Zambia for a long time. And this is the basis that we have continuously engaged with the government, not only this government, even the previous governments, to reiterate the commitment to a clean food system in Zambia.
What does Zambia really have a position on these products, and what do you think the outcome of this letter will mean for you as an organization?
Early 20s, during the time that the late president, former president Levi Patrick Mwanawasa was president, remember there was a strong push to introduce GMOs in Zambia, of which he then rejected. He rejected and he said if the people who have to go through hardship, they have to go through hardship, but we are not agreeable to the introduction of genetically modified organisms. That has been the position of Zambia for many years. Different governments have come, that position has been maintained.
So what are some?
And that is the position that Zambia has currently, is no to GMOs.
But currently, what are some of your key critical concerns on this draft policy?
Yes, we have seen that lately there is suddenly a swift, a shift where the government is beginning to entertain discussion on the introduction of live GMOs. There has been a process now of discussing a policy on GMOs, and we have been in discussion also with some government, and we are told, we are informed that there should be a validation meeting to validate the GMO policy, which is supposed to introduce live GMOs. And this is what we are opposed to. I mean, at what point did the country switch its position to now begin to entertain the discussion of GMO? At what point? Because we know that in 2003, the entire citizen was involved in this discussion. Therefore, who has been consulted? I mean, very few people would know that this is ongoing. But in 2003, those who were there, they understood the magnitude of this debate. And it was a national debate. The president was clear about it. So even now, if there must be any discussion on it, it must be based on the consensus of the Zambian people, not where there's a push from a small group of corporates who have an interest to push the issue of GMOs. Those are some of the key concerns, that the process is not inclusive and the process has been hidden from a general public, the entire citizen who are the stakeholders of Zambia.
Adama Chidinya, coordinator FIAN International Zambia, is also speaking on behalf of the Zambia Alliance for Agroecology and Biodiversity, ZAB. Thank you so much for making time to speak with us on this very important item.
Thank you so much, Jason.
Take a break. Ambassador Mwamba is joining us next.
Building a house is not as easy as arranging blocks together.